What if I told you that right now there is a free horror game demo on Steam with nearly 1,000 reviews, sitting at 89% very positive, and all the devs are still scared doing their own playtesting? Yeah, the developers said that openly on the internet. I love this industry. Pack, welcome back. This is the Cyberwolf, and today we are going deep on DreamEaters.exe. The indie horror co-op demo that came out of nowhere, racking up over 500,000 players, hit 100,000 wishlists, and has people screaming at their friends in Discord at 2 AM. And the best part, you can play it right now for free. So who made it? What exactly is it? How does it play? And why is everyone losing their minds over the demo? Let's get into it. Okay, so DreamEaters.exe is made by a small studio called Tension Games. And when I say small, I mean indie small. This is not a big publisher. This is not a 100-person team with a marketing budget the size of the country's GDP. And yet they dropped a demo that one reviewer on itch.io said, and I quote, "If someone gave me this and told me it was a AAA game demo, I would believe them." That is the energy we are working with today. The demo launched on Steam in May 2025, both single player and online co-op, and it absolutely blew up. We're talking hundreds of thousands of players on a free demo, and Tension Games has been actively updating it since, which we'll get into because some of the new stuff they've added is genuinely wild. To be clear, the full game hasn't been released yet. What we've got right now is the demo, which is free on Steam, but Tension Games have actively building towards early access, and based on everything I've seen, this might be one of the most exciting indie horror releases on the horizon. Before we get into the gameplay, I need to hit you with the lore, because there's something genuinely fascinating buried in this game's concept. The setup, a secretive organisation, has been trapping people in a convert sleep experiment. You, a volunteer, are unknowingly subjected to nightly nightmares. As these shadowy scientists study the boundaries of the human mind, every time you fail to escape, your fears become more and more tangible. The nightmares get worse, the monsters get stronger, and the longer you stay trapped in the dream, the more the dream starts consuming you. Now, here's a bit that broke my brain a little. The monster stalking you through these nightmares is called a dream eater, and dream eaters are a real thing from Japanese folklore. Creatures called Baku, a chimera, this mismatch of animal parts that would actually eat your bad dreams and protect you from nightmares. They were benevolent, helpful, the equivalent of a supernatural bad dream hoover. Tension Games took that, a creature that was supposed to protect you, and twisted it into something that hunts you through the dark. Your guardian has become your predator. That is genuinely brilliant horror writing. That is the chef kiss of a lore design. Right, so how does it actually play? DreamEaters.exe is a first-person horror survival game with a task and escape loop that's going to feel familiar if you've played things like Phasmophobia or Lethal Company, with its own distinct flavour. You're dropped into a nightmarish version of a house. Your job, complete 4 tasks across the map before the Dream Eater finds you and ends your night permanently. Here's how the loop works. You're scavenging for VHS style items. We're talking cassette tapes, floppy disks, soda cans, and depositing them into receptacles around the map to trade for keys. Keys are not restricted areas. Restricted areas have the stuff you need to progress. Simple in theory, absolute chaos in practice. And here's the pressure valve that makes it sing. The longer you stay in the nightmare, the harder it gets. The monster scales, the tension builds. By the end of the run, glow sticks, your tool to temporarily blind or repel the creature, becomes a mandatory survival equipment, not an optional extra. Early game, you're exploring. Late game, you're running for your life. The game also features procedural generation. Item spawns change every run, and the nightmare behaves differently each time, so you never get the exact same experience twice. That's massive for replayability. You can play solo or team up with up to 4 friends in co-op, and honestly, the co-op experience sounds absolutely chaotic in the best possible way. Multiple people panicking in the same building, trying to coordinate tasks while one person is probably getting chased. That will probably be me. That's content gold right there. And I want to stop for a second and specifically talk about this because it matters. This is a demo that supports full online multiplayer, not just split screen, not just local co-op, up to 4 players online together in the nightmare for free. You do not have to buy anything to drag your mates into this. And that demo, it's not a 30-second vertical slice. The devs say it offers 30 to 80 minutes of gameplay per session. depending on how you approach it and how badly you get wrecked. With procedural generation changing item spawns every run and the nightmare behaving differently each time, you're looking at strong replay value on top of that. For a free demo, that is generally ridiculous value. Most paid games don't give you that kind of variety. I need to talk about the look of this game because it deserves its own segment. DreamEaters.exe is going all in on the 90s VHS aesthetic. Grainy visuals, neon lighting, flickering effects, and that warm up degraded colour palette that makes everything feel simultaneously nostalgic and deeply wrong. It's the same energy that made the Blair Witch Project terrifying, that feeling that you're watching something you weren't supposed to find, something recorded and something forgotten. The VHS format carries this psychological weight that modern crisp 4K graphics just can't replicate. When something looks too real, your brain goes, video game. When it looks like it's degraded tape from 1994, your brain goes, this might be real. They also pair that with immersive 3D audio, positional sound that puts the monster's footsteps exactly where they are in the space around you. If you're playing with your headphones, you will hear breathing around corners and you will absolutely spiral. The combination of VHS visuals and precise 3D audio creates this incredible tension. Your eyes are telling you the world is unstable and your ears are telling you exactly where the danger is. It's a really smart design. Now, here's where things get really interesting for anyone who played the demo early on. Teijin Games announced a massive demo version 2.0 overhaul and pack. This isn't just a patch, this is more like an early access level of new content. Let me run through some of the wild changes. Monsters can now break doors. Previously, you could suddenly stop the runs by repeatedly slamming a door in the monster's face to trap it. The door stopped meta. Dead, gone. The creature comes through. But to balance that, players can now rebuild broken doors using a new hammer tool. So now it's a push and pull. The nightmare is trying to break your defenses and you're trying to repair them in real time. That's a completely different kind of tension. They've also added destructible objects scattered around the map. You smash them, they drop slot machine tokens, which you can use at an actual slot machine to buy support items like revival kits, health potions, or progression items like keys. So resource management just got a way deeper. And then there are the new tool items, which are absolutely unhinged in the best way. The all-seeing eye, which reveals the aura of any player or monster within a certain radius of where you're looking. But here's the catch, if you stare at the monster for too long, it will see you back. So you've got this horror version of a weeping angel mechanic where you need to track the threat without making eye contact for too long. The Sandman's clock, which reverses time for the user. I don't even fully know what this means in context yet, and I am fascinated to find out. The Sandman's ring, which makes you invisible to the nightmare dimension by shifting you into the hidden dimension. But monsters that normally can't see you now can. So you're trading one danger for another. These items are so creative, Pack. They're not just a stat buff, they completely change how you can see and play the game. Now remember, we don't have the full game just yet. This is still a demo, but Teijin Games have been pretty open about what they're building towards, and some of it sounds absolutely bonkers. They've teased a new mechanic called Oracle's Crystal, an item that supposedly lets you peer into a hidden dimension to search for clues. An entire puzzle section in the full game is reportedly built around this hidden dimension concept. That sounds like it could be generally mind-bending. But the one that made me audibly go, what, is puzzle section 3 is apparently themed around capturing monsters instead of running from them. The devs literally described it as, and I love this description, full-on Pokemon style. Terrified prey in section 1, monster catcher in section 3. In the same game, that tonal shift is either completely unhinged or absolutely genius, and I generally cannot wait to find out which. The full game is also planning more monsters, plural. Right now the demo has one nightmare creature, but Teijin Games have confirmed multiple different horrors are coming, each one presumably with different behaviours, different tells, different ways to either evade or interact with them. More difficulty options are also on the roadmap. The nightmare mode in the demo was apparently so brutal that even the devs themselves were shocked when someone cleared it fast. And they still want to add more. I respect that commitment to suffering. Okay, step back for a second. Why am I this excited for an indie horror demo? Because DreamEaters.exe represents something really important happening in horror gaming right now. Small teams are making games that hit harder than titles with 10 times the budget. Not because they've got the biggest graphics or the most polished production, but because they understand what actually makes a horror game work. Its atmosphere, its audio design, it's giving you just enough agency that you feel capable, and then taking it away at the worst possible moment. And Tagian Games get that. They've taken a folklore concept, bent it into the darkness, wrapped it in some visual style that immediately triggers unease, and built a co-op loop that is generally terrifying to play with friends. Reviews constantly talk about the tension, the atmosphere, the way the game makes you feel watched, and even before the monsters start showing up. The demo hit 500k players, 100k wishlist, 89% very positive on nearly 1,000 reviews. For a free demo from a small indie studio, that's not luck, that is craft. Pack Dream Eaters solo or up to 4 players in co-op, VHS aesthetic, procedural nightmares, monsters that learn, tools that break your brain, and a full game in development that might just be one of the most creative horror experiences in the indie space. Go play the demo, grab some friends, scream at each other, have a terrible time in the best way possible. If you want to see me suffer through it live, I am planning on recruiting some of my fellow monster hunters from Discord to brave the dark halls with me soon, so come find me on stream and join the pack if you haven't already. We're out here conquering nightmares together. Drop in the comments, are you playing this solo or dragging friends into the horror with you? Like this video if this was your kind of deep dive, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.